Captain Jake Morrison stood at the window of his ship and looked out at the stars. After 300 years of searching, humanity had finally found other life in the galaxy. The Terra Nova was the first human ship to travel this far from Earth, and Jake felt the weight of history on his shoulders. "Captain, we're getting a signal from Nexus Prime," said his communications officer, Lieutenant Ben Taylor. "They're ready to see us." Jake nodded and turned to face his crew. Beside him stood Lisa Grant, Earth's best diplomat, and Dr. Paul Carter, the smartest scientist humanity had to offer. These three people would represent all of mankind to the Galactic Council. "Remember," Lisa said quietly, "we're here to make friends. Humanity needs allies out here." The Terra Nova approached Nexus Prime slowly. The planet was unlike anything humans had ever seen. Massive crystal towers reached into the sky, and ships of impossible designs floated through the air without making any sound. Jake had seen the pictures in their briefings, but seeing it with his own eyes was different. "Look at the size of those cities," Dr. Carter whispered. "The technology here is thousands of years ahead of ours." Jake felt nervous, but tried not to show it. Earth had sent him because he was calm under pressure, but this was bigger than any mission he had ever been on. If this went wrong, humanity might never get another chance. The ship landed at a spaceport that seemed to be made entirely of smooth, white stone. Alien beings walked around the landing area, but none of them looked human. Some were tall and thin like living crystals. Others moved on 6 legs and had shells like giant insects. A few floated in the air without any visible means of support. "Stay calm," Lisa reminded them as they walked down the ship's ramp. "Smile, but not too much. We don't know if showing teeth is threatening to them." An alien approached them. It was 9 feet tall and looked like it was made of blue crystal. When it spoke, its voice sounded like wind chimes. "I am Chancellor Zekthul of the Vorthak people. You are the humans we have heard about. Follow me." They walked through corridors that seemed to go on forever. The walls showed moving pictures of different alien worlds and species. Jake counted at least 50 different types of beings before he stopped trying to keep track. The meeting room was enormous. Hundreds of alien representatives sat in a circle around a central platform. Jake had never felt so small. The 3 humans walked to the center and waited. "Humans of Earth," Chancellor Zekthul began. "You have requested membership in the Galactic Council. We have studied your species for some time. Now we will ask you questions." For the next 6 hours, the aliens asked about everything. They wanted to know about human history, human technology, and human society. Dr. Carter answered questions about science. Lisa talked about human governments and culture. Jake described Earth's military and space exploration programs. At first, Jake thought things were going well. The aliens seemed interested in human achievements. They asked about human art, music, and literature. They wanted to know how humans had traveled to the stars so quickly, but then the questions changed. "How many wars has your species fought?" asked an insect-like alien with compound eyes. "Throughout our history?" "Thousands," Lisa answered honestly. "But we've learned from our mistakes. We've had peace on Earth for over a century now," the aliens whispered among themselves. Jake noticed that the whispers didn't sound friendly. "Show us your military capabilities," demanded another alien that looked like a floating jellyfish. Jake hesitated. "Our military is defensive. We built it to protect Earth and our colonies." "Show us," the alien repeated. Dr. Carter activated a holographic display. It showed human ships, weapons, and defensive systems. Jake watched the aliens' faces change as they saw what humanity had built. Where there had been curiosity, now there was fear. "Your species developed faster than light travel in less than 400 years, observed Chancellor Zekthul. "Most species take over 2,000 years to achieve this. We're fast learners," Dr. Carter said proudly. "Yes," said the Chancellor. "Too fast." The room fell silent. Jake felt his heart rate increase. Something was going wrong. An alien that looked like a giant praying mantis stood up. "I am Hive Queen Nixara. Humans, your species concerns us greatly. In 4 centuries, you have gone from primitive tool users to interstellar travelers. Your History is filled with violence and conquest. Your technology advances at a rate that defies natural progression. But we've changed, Lisa protested. We've unified our world. We've ended war on Earth. We want to be part of the galactic community. Your psychological profiles are disturbing, continued the Hive Queen. Humans show unprecedented levels of aggression, territorial behavior, and technological adaptation. Your species treats warfare as an art form. You glorify combat in your entertainment. You compete constantly, even with yourselves. Jake stepped forward. Those traits also make us good explorers and problem solvers. We don't give up easily. We adapt to survive. These aren't bad things. Chancellor Zekthul raised one crystalline hand. The Council has made its decision. Humanity is classified as a Class 7 hazard species. You are too dangerous to be allowed into galactic civilization. The words hit Jake like a physical blow. What does that mean? It means you will be contained, said the Hive Queen. Your species will be restricted to your home system. Energy barriers will be placed around your star. If you attempt to leave, you will be destroyed. Lisa stepped forward desperately. Please reconsider. We came here in peace. We want to learn from you, to share knowledge and culture. That is exactly what makes you dangerous, replied Chancellor Zekthul. Your species learns too quickly. You adapt too well. In 1,000 years, you would surpass us all. In 2,000 years, you would dominate the galaxy. We cannot allow this. You're making a mistake, Jake said, his voice hard. Humanity deserves a chance. Humanity deserves containment, said the Hive Queen. This discussion is over. Return to your ship. Return to your system. Do not attempt to leave again. Guards approached the humans. Jake wanted to fight, but he knew it would only prove the aliens' point. The three humans walked back to their ship in silence. As the Terra Nova lifted off from Nexus Prime, Jake watched the alien world shrink below them. Humanity had reached for the stars and been slapped down. They had offered friendship and been given a prison sentence. What do we tell Earth? Dr. Carter asked quietly. Jake stared out at the stars that would soon be forbidden to them. We tell them the truth. The galaxy doesn't want us. But that doesn't mean we're going to accept it. Behind them, invisible barriers were already being constructed around the Sol system. Humanity was alone again, but this time they knew they weren't alone by choice. They had been rejected, feared, and imprisoned by species that called themselves civilized. It was the biggest mistake the galaxy would ever make. 2 years had passed since the aliens trapped humanity in their own solar system. The energy barriers around the sun were invisible but deadly. 3 ships had tried to break through in the early days. None had returned. Colonel Sam Hughes sat in a meeting room deep beneath the Pacific Ocean. The room was carved from solid rock and shielded from any scanning technology the aliens might use. Around the table sat the smartest and most dangerous people on Earth. We have a choice, Sam said to the group. We can sit in our cage and wait for the aliens to forget about us, or we can do something about it. Dr. Amy Brooks looked up from her tablet. She was the best physicist on Earth, and she had been working on a problem for months. I think I've found a way out. President Karen Williams leaned forward. She had been elected just after the alien rejection, and her entire presidency was focused on one thing: getting humanity free. Tell us, the president said. Amy activated a hologram in the center of the table. It showed space around Earth, with red lines marking the alien barriers. The aliens are watching normal space, Amy explained. Their sensors look for ships moving through regular spacetime. But what if we don't travel through normal space? Danny Walsh, the government's top computer expert, frowned. What do you mean? I mean, we go around it, Amy said. Under it. Through dimensions the aliens don't even know exist. She changed the hologram to show layers of reality stacked on top of each other. Space has levels like floors in a building. The aliens are watching the ground floor. But if we can travel through the basement levels, they'll never see us. Maria Santos, the engineer who had designed Earth's best spaceship, studied the display. Is this possible? I think so, Amy said. I call them shadow drives. ships that slip between dimensions. They would be completely invisible to alien sensors. Sam. Hughes smiled for the first time in months. How long to build one? 6 months for a prototype. Maybe a year for a full-sized ship. Do it, President Williams said immediately. Whatever you need, you'll have it. Amy nodded. I'll need a team. And we'll need to be careful. If the aliens discover what we're doing before we're ready, they won't, Sam promised. This project is classified beyond anything we've ever done. Only the people in this room will know about it. Over the next year, humanity's greatest secret took shape. In hidden facilities on the dark side of the moon and in underwater laboratories, the Shadow Initiative worked day and night. Danny Walsh created a communication system that used quantum particles to send messages instantly across any distance. The aliens couldn't detect it because it worked outside normal physics. Maria Santos designed ships unlike anything ever built. They were black as space itself and covered in materials that absorbed all forms of energy. When the shadow drives were installed, the ships could disappear completely from reality. Agent Claire Mitchell was chosen to test the first Shadow Scout ship. She was a former spy who had worked in the most dangerous places on Earth. If anyone could sneak past alien patrols, it was her. Remember, Sam told her before her first mission, you're not just flying a ship, you're carrying humanity's future. Claire nodded and climbed into the cockpit of the Ghost Runner. The ship was small, built for one person, and designed to be invisible. When she activated the shadow drive, the ship seemed to fade away like smoke. Shadow 1 to base, Claire's voice came through the quantum radio. I'm outside the barriers. The aliens can't see me. For the first time in 2 years, a human had left the solar system. Claire's first missions were simple. She mapped nearby star systems and looked for planets where humans could hide. She found empty worlds far from alien trade routes, places where humanity could build in secret. There's a system 30 light-years from here, she reported after. Her third mission. 7 planets, 2 of them perfect for colonies. No alien presence anywhere in the area. Sam Hughes assembled the first shadow colonists. They were volunteers who knew they might never see Earth again. Commander Rick Barnes would lead them, and Administrator Helen Cross would help them build their new home. We're not just running away, Sam told the colonists before they left. We're building humanity's future. Every colony, every base, every ship we build in secret makes us stronger. The colony ship New Dawn was 10 times larger than the Ghost Runner, but it was just as invisible. It carried 500 colonists, prefabricated buildings, and everything needed to start civilization on a new world. This is Commander Barnes. Rick's voice came through the quantum radio 6 months later. Colony Alpha is established. We're invisible to all scans and ready to receive more settlers. More ships followed. Colony Beta was built in an asteroid field that looked empty but was actually full of mining equipment. Colony Gamma was hidden inside a gas giant's moon. Each one was invisible. Each one made humanity stronger. But Sam Hughes had bigger plans than just hiding. He called Dr. Amy Brooks to another secret meeting. Colonies are good, he said, but we need more than hiding places. We need to know what the aliens are doing. We need people inside their worlds. Amy looked confused. You want to spy on aliens? They'll recognize humans immediately. Not if they don't know they're looking at humans, Sam said. He showed her files from the biology research division. We can change human DNA. We can alter bone structure, skin color, even basic body shape. With the right technology, a human could look like any alien species. That's possible, Amy admitted. But dangerous. The changes would be permanent. Some prices are worth paying, Sam replied. The first deep cover agents were volunteers from Earth's Special Forces. They underwent months of surgery and genetic therapy to look like aliens. Agent Kevin Ross was changed to look like an Altarian trader. Dr. Nancy Kim was modified to appear as a Zentaran scientist. You'll be alone out there, Sam told them before they left. No backup, no rescue missions. If you're discovered, we can't help you. We understand, Kevin said. His new Altarian features made his voice sound different, but his eyes were still human. We're doing this for Earth. The agents disappeared into alien society. Kevin became a successful merchant, trading goods between alien worlds while secretly mapping their defenses. Nancy joined alien research facilities and began stealing their technology. Meanwhile, the shadow colonies grew. By 2395, humanity had 12 hidden bases scattered across the galaxy. Each one specialized in different work. Some built ships, others developed weapons, and a few focused on creating new technologies. The aliens had no idea what was happening. Their sensors showed empty space where human colonies thrived. Their trading partners included humans in disguise. Their own research facilities had human spies stealing their secrets. Colonel Sam Hughes stood in the command center of Shadow Base 1, built inside a hollow asteroid. Screens showed all 12 colonies, dozens of scout ships, and reports from agents across the galaxy. "Status report," he said to his staff. "Colony production is up 20% this month," reported Administrator Helen Cross, who had returned from Colony Alpha to help coordinate the growing network. "Our agents have identified weak points in alien defenses throughout the Outer Rim," added Agent Claire Mitchell, who now led the intelligence division. "And our new shadow drives are 50% more efficient than the original design," finished Dr. Amy Brooks. Sam smiled. The aliens thought they had caged humanity, but instead they had given humans the perfect motivation to become something greater. Hidden in the shadows, humanity was building an empire. "Phase 1 is complete," Sam announced to his team. "Now we begin Phase 2. It's time to start influencing alien politics." In the depths of space, invisible to alien sensors, human colonies hummed with activity. Ships moved like ghosts between the stars. Agents walked among aliens, learning their secrets and weaknesses. The galaxy had rejected humanity. Now humanity would teach the galaxy what rejection really meant. They would never see it coming. 15 years had passed since the aliens locked humanity in their home system. The galaxy thought humans were still trapped around their sun, but they were very wrong. Director Alex Stone stood in the control room of Shadow Command, the hidden base that now controlled humanity's secret empire. Alex had taken over when Colonel Sam Hughes died in a mission gone wrong. The old soldier would be proud of what humanity had built. "Status report," Alex said to the team gathered around the holographic display. Agent Kevin Ross appeared on the screen from his office on the alien trading world of Vega Prime. To everyone there, he looked like a successful Altarian merchant, with blue skin and large black eyes. But he was still human inside. "My trading company now controls 12% of all cargo shipping in the Outer Rim," Kevin reported. "The aliens trust me completely. Last month, I was invited to join the Merchants Guild Council." Alex smiled. "Excellent. What about our other assets?" Dr. Nancy Kim's image appeared next to Kevin's. She looked like a Zentaran scientist with gray skin and a tall, thin body. She was speaking from inside the Galactic Science Institute, one of the most secure facilities in alien space. "I've been promoted to Senior Research Director," Nancy said. "I now have access to their most classified projects. We've learned how to build their shield technology, their medical systems, and their quantum computers. And they have no idea. They're giving their secrets to humans," Alex asked. "None at all," Nancy replied. "They think I'm one of their best scientists. Next month I'm being considered for the High Science Council." Alex turned to the colony reports. 12 hidden human settlements were now scattered across the galaxy. Each one was invisible to alien sensors and growing stronger every day. Commander Tony Blake reported from New Geneva, the colony hidden in the Kepler Nebula. "Production is ahead of schedule. We're building 30 new ships this month. Our weapons factories are running at full capacity." Director Lisa Park spoke from Haven Station in the Void sector. "Intelligence operations are expanding. We now have agents in over 50 alien governments. They're all reporting useful information." But Alex had saved the most important news for last. "Tell me about the Proxy Project." Dr. Amy Brooks appeared on screen from Laboratory 7, humanity's most secret research facility. "The Artificial Species Project is ready for testing. We've created complete biological and digital beings that look, think, and act like real aliens. But they're actually under our control." Alex leaned forward. This was humanity's greatest achievement. Show me. The screen changed to show a laboratory where strange beings worked at various tasks. They looked like aliens, but they had been created by human science. Meet the Corvani, Amy explained. We designed them to look like a species that might naturally evolve in the galactic rim. They have their own language, culture, and technology, but everything they do follows our programming. How many? Alex asked. We started with 1,000. They've been placed on 3 different worlds where they're building their own civilization. To any alien observer, the Corvani are just another new species developing space travel. Alex grinned. The aliens thought they were dealing with independent species, but they were actually negotiating with human puppets. Sir? Interrupted Communications Officer Danny Walsh. We're getting reports from the Outer Rim. The Galactic Council is facing a crisis. The main screen showed a map of alien space. Several regions were colored red, indicating conflict zones. What's happening? Alex asked. Multiple species are rebelling against Council authority, Danny explained. The Corvan hegemony, the Free Planets Alliance, and the Rim Coalition have all declared independence. They're fighting Council forces across 15 star systems. Alex studied the map carefully. Each of the rebel groups was in an area where humanity had been particularly active. Who's leading these rebellions? Unknown military advisors, Danny replied. The rebels are using tactics and weapons that the Council has never seen before. They're winning battles they should be losing. Alex knew exactly what was happening. Human agents embedded in these governments were finally making their move. The galaxy's first major war in centuries was being orchestrated by the species they had rejected. Agent Beth Johnson's face appeared on screen. She looked like a Corvan military officer with brown skin and 6 arms. In reality, she was one of humanity's best strategic minds. Director Stone, Beth reported from the front lines. The rebel forces are performing exactly as planned. Council fleets are retreating from 3 systems. The aliens have no idea how to fight our tactics. Casualties? Alex asked. Minimal on our side. The Council forces are suffering heavy losses. Their admirals keep trying the same old strategies. They can't adapt fast enough. Alex nodded. Humans had always been better at warfare than any alien species. Now they were proving it. The war lasted 3 years. Council fleets that had never known defeat were destroyed by rebels using impossible tactics. Alien governments that had ruled for thousands of years collapsed overnight. The galaxy's balance of power shifted dramatically, but the aliens still didn't know who was really behind it all. The Council is requesting a peace summit, reported Kevin Ross from his position in the Merchants Guild. They want to negotiate with the rebel leaders. Perfect, Alex replied. Make sure our people are at that table. The peace negotiations took place on neutral ground. Alien diplomats who had never been defeated in battle now had to bargain with rebels they couldn't understand. The human agents played their roles perfectly. They demanded independence for their regions, trading rights with other species, and representation in any new galactic government. To the aliens, it looked like legitimate political demands from emerging civilizations. The Council has agreed to create a new governing body, reported Dr. Nancy Kim from her position in the Science Institute. They're calling it the Expanded Galactic Assembly. All species will have a voice, including the rebel groups. Alex smiled. The aliens thought they were making peace, but they were actually giving humans official representation in galactic government. 2410, humanity's invisible empire stretched across the galaxy. Human agents sat in the councils of dozens of alien governments. Human-controlled companies dominated interstellar trade. Human military advisors commanded the fleets of multiple species. The Proxy Species Project had expanded beyond Alex's wildest dreams. The artificial Corvani now controlled 5 star systems. 2 other synthetic species had been introduced and were thriving. The galaxy was full of aliens who were actually human creations. Status report, Alex said at the weekly command meeting. We control or influence 60% of galactic trade, reported Kevin Ross. Our agents hold key positions in over 40 governments, added Agent Claire Mitchell. Our proxy species are now recognized as full members of the Expanded Galactic Assembly, said Dr. Amy Brooks. And the best part, finished Alex, is that nobody suspects anything. To the rest of the galaxy, humans are still trapped in their home system. Director Lisa Park raised her hand. Sir, I've been thinking about the next phase. How long do we stay hidden? Alex looked out at the stars through the command center's viewing window. Somewhere out there, the aliens who had rejected humanity were living in a galaxy that humans now secretly controlled. We stay hidden until we're ready to reveal ourselves, Alex said. And when we do, it won't be as prisoners begging for acceptance. It will be as the masters of everything they thought they controlled. The galaxy had made a terrible mistake when they rejected humanity. They had given humans the motivation to become something far more dangerous than they ever imagined. Hidden, in the shadows, humanity had become the galaxy's puppet master, and the aliens were dancing to human music without even knowing the tune. Director Kate Rogers stood in the command center of Shadow Prime, humanity's most secret base. She was young for such an important job, but Alex Stone had trained her well before his retirement. Now she faced the biggest decision in human history. It's time for Phase 2, she announced to her senior staff. We're going to reveal ourselves to the galaxy. The room fell silent. For 30 years, humanity had built their power in secret. Now Kate wanted to step into the light. Agent Kevin Ross, still disguised as an Altarian traitor, appeared on the main screen. Director, are you sure about this? We control everything from the shadows. Why risk exposure? Because hiding forever isn't victory, Kate replied. We need to show the galaxy what we've become, but we'll do it on our terms. Larry Chen, humanity's master of cyber warfare, activated his workstation. The digital death virus is ready for deployment. When you give the order, I can cripple every computer system in the galaxy. Kate nodded. The digital death was humanity's ultimate weapon. It would destroy alien technology while leaving human systems untouched. The galaxy would beg for help, and humanity would provide it. Begin Phase 2, Kate ordered. Across the galaxy, the virus struck without warning. On the alien capital world of Nexus Prime, the crystal towers went dark. Starships lost power and drifted helplessly in space. Communication networks failed. Banking systems crashed. Entire civilizations lost their technology overnight. Chancellor Zekthul of the Vorthak stood in his darkened office as emergency lights flickered around him. What's happening? He demanded. Everything is failing, reported his aide. Our computers, our ships, our cities. The virus is spreading faster than we can stop it. Similar scenes played out across hundreds of worlds. The insectoid hive queen Nixara watched helplessly as her vast technological empire crumbled. The proud Altarian Federation saw their trading fleets go silent one by one. Panic spread through alien space faster than the virus itself. Governments that had ruled for thousands of years suddenly found themselves powerless. The mighty Galactic Council couldn't even communicate with its own members. Then, just as despair reached its peak, salvation arrived. This is the Shadow Collective, announced a voice on every working communication channel in the galaxy. We offer protection from the digital death. The speaker appeared on screens across alien space. He looked like an ancient being of indeterminate species, wearing robes that seemed to shimmer between dimensions. In reality, it was Admiral Ryan Foster, the old Earth commander, who now called himself the Architect. We have watched your civilizations from beyond the physical realm, the Architect explained. We exist primarily in digital and dimensional spaces, which is why you have never encountered us before. But we cannot stand by while this plague destroys all progress in the galaxy. Within hours, the Shadow Collective's agents made contact with every major government. They offered immunity software, defensive protocols, and technological aid. The price was simple. Join the new Galactic Order. Agent Gary Webb, appearing as a mysterious robed figure, met with the Corvin leaders. Accept our protection, and your people will be safe. Refuse and face extinction. Rose Kim, disguised as another Shadow Collective diplomat, made the same offer to the Zentaran government. We seek only to preserve civilization. Join us willingly and prosper under our guidance. One by one, alien governments surrendered to the Shadow Collective. They had no choice. Their own technology was useless against the virus, but the mysterious, new faction offered complete immunity. "Who are you people?" Chancellor Zekthul asked during his surrender ceremony. "We are those who transcended the need for physical worlds long ago," the architect replied. "We have guided younger species from the shadows, but now we must step forward to prevent galactic collapse." The aliens believed every word. How else could this faction have such advanced technology? How else could they appear from nowhere with solutions to impossible problems? Director Kate Rogers watched the proceedings from Shadow Prime. Every major alien leader was bowing before humans in disguise, begging for protection from a virus humans had created. "Status report," she said to her staff. 80% of alien governments have joined the Shadow Collective, reported Intelligence Chief Claire Mitchell. "Our agents are being installed in key positions throughout their administrations," added Operations Director Tony Blake. "And the remaining 20%, Kate asked. "They're attempting resistance," Claire replied. "But they'll fall in line soon enough." She was right. The few governments that tried to resist found their military. Commanders, economic advisors, and scientific experts were already Shadow Collective members. The humans who had been placed in these positions decades earlier now revealed their true loyalties. The Altarian Senate voted to join the Shadow Collective when they discovered their own admiral, Beth Johnson in disguise, recommended it. The Rim Federation surrendered when their chief scientist, actually Dr. Nancy Kim, explained they had no other option. Within 6 months, the Shadow Collective controlled the entire galaxy. The old Galactic Council formally dissolved itself and transferred all authority to the architect and his mysterious followers. "We accept this responsibility with heavy hearts," the architect announced during the transfer ceremony. "But the galaxy requires strong leadership to survive these troubled times." Admiral Foster, still in his ancient alien disguise, stood before the assembled representatives of 200 species. Each of them believed they were looking at their savior. None of them suspected they were surrendering to the same species they had rejected 30 years earlier. Kate Rogers authorized the final phase of the plan. "Begin revealing our human agents," she ordered. Across the galaxy, key Shadow Collective members began removing their disguises during important meetings. The sight of human faces beneath alien appearances sent shockwaves through every government. "Impossible," whispered Hive Queen Nixara, when her trusted advisor revealed himself to be Agent Danny Walsh. "Humans are imprisoned in their home system." "That's what you were supposed to think," Danny replied calmly. Similar revelations occurred everywhere. Trade Minister Kevin Ross revealed his true human identity to the Merchants Guild. Science Director A. Nancy Kim announced she was human during a research council meeting. Military Commander Beth Johnson showed her real face to her alien troops. The aliens were stunned. The species they had feared and contained had been living among them for decades. Every major decision, every technological breakthrough, every political change had been influenced by human agents. "How is this possible?" Chancellor Zekthul demanded during an emergency meeting with the architect. "Your species underestimated humanity," the architect replied. "You thought imprisonment would contain them. Instead, you gave them the motivation to surpass you in ways you never imagined." The truth was spreading across the galaxy like wildfire. The Shadow Collective wasn't an ancient, mysterious species. It was humanity, revealed as the galaxy's new masters. Some species attempted rebellion. The Vortak tried to organize resistance among the outer colonies. The Zentaran Empire declared they would never bow to humans. But it was too late. Humans controlled their militaries, their economies, and their governments. The rebellions collapsed. Before they could begin, Director Kate Rogers received the final reports from across the galaxy. "All major governments have acknowledged Shadow Collective authority," reported Claire Mitchell. "Resistance movements have been neutralized. The transition is complete." Kate smiled as she looked at the galactic map. Every star system was now marked in blue, indicating human control. The species that had once rejected humanity now served them willingly. though many still didn't fully understand what had happened. "Prepare for the final revelation," Kate ordered. "It's time for the architect to show his true face." The galaxy was about to learn that their new masters were the same people they had once called too dangerous for civilized space. Soon, every alien in the galaxy would understand the price of rejecting humanity. The greatest deception in galactic history was about to reach its climax. The first Shadow Assembly was the largest gathering in galactic history. Representatives from over 400 species came to Nexus Prime to celebrate their new government. They thought they were honoring their mysterious saviors. They had no idea they were about to witness the greatest revelation ever. Admiral Ryan Foster stood backstage, preparing for the moment that would change everything. At 78 years old, he had lived to see humanity rise from rejected prisoners to secret rulers of the galaxy. Now it was time to finish what they had started. "Are you ready for this?" asked Director Kate Rogers, standing beside him. Ryan smiled and touched the control that would remove his alien disguise. "I've been ready for 30 years. The assembly hall was enormous. Delegates from across the galaxy sat in perfect rows, all facing the stage where the architect would speak. Chancellor Zekthul sat in the front row, his crystal body reflecting the lights. Hive Queen Nixara was beside him, her compound eyes watching the stage carefully. "Citizens of the galaxy," the architect began, his voice carrying to every corner of the hall. "Today marks a new beginning for all civilizations. Today we step forward from the shadows." The audience applauded politely. They expected another speech about unity and progress from their mysterious leaders. "For too long you have lived in fear," the architect continued. "Fear of war, fear of change, fear of species that might challenge your dominance. That fear led you to make the greatest mistake in galactic history." The applause died. The delegates looked confused. This wasn't the speech they expected. Kit 30I. Years ago, you encountered a young species reaching for the stars. They came in peace, offering friendship and cooperation. And you rejected them. Chancellor Zekthul shifted uncomfortably in his seat. A terrible suspicion was growing in his mind. You called them too dangerous, too violent, too quick to learn. You imprisoned them in their home system and thought you had solved the problem. The architect paused and looked directly at the alien leaders who had made that decision so long ago. You were right about one thing. They were dangerous, but not in the way you thought. Ryan Foster reached up and touched his disguise controls. The shimmering robes and ancient alien features began to fade away, revealing the weathered face of an old human beneath. The assembly hall erupted in gasps and shocked whispers. Delegates jumped to their feet, staring in disbelief at the human standing before them. "My name is Admiral Ryan Foster," he said in his natural voice. "I am human. For 30 years, the species you rejected has been your unseen guardian, your secret protector, and now your rightful ruler." Chancellor Zekthul stood up slowly, his crystal form trembling. "Impossible. Humans are contained in their home system." "Are we?" Ryan asked with a smile. Throughout the assembly hall, other Shadow collective members began removing their disguises. Agent Kevin Ross revealed his human face to the delegates he had traded with for decades. Dr. Nancy Kim showed her true appearance to the scientists who had worked beside her. Agent Beth Johnson pulled off her mask in front of the military commanders, she had advised. "Every major decision in your governments has been guided by human wisdom," Ryan continued. "Every technological advancement has been shared by human scientists. Every military victory has been won with human tactics." Hive Queen Nixara made a sound like breaking glass. "The proxy species, the rebellions, the trade networks, all of it was human," Ryan finished. "Every single part of your civilization has been touched by the species you feared and rejected." The alien delegates sat in stunned silence. Some were angry, others terrified. A few looked impressed despite themselves. Prime Minister Zara of the Corvan hegemony stood up. She had always been one of the more reasonable leaders, and now she understood why. "For years you have guided us toward peace and prosperity," she said. "If this was deception, it was deception that saved lives and improved our worlds." Ryan nodded respectfully. We never wanted to conquer you through force. We wanted to prove that humanity deserved a place among the stars. Agent Kathy Moore, who had been disguised as Prime Minister Zara for 15 years, stepped forward and removed her own mask, revealing her human features. Even our most trusted leaders were humans in disguise, whispered Chancellor Zekthul. Some were, Ryan agreed. Others were aliens who chose to work with us because they saw the wisdom in human leadership. Dr. Amy Brooks appeared on the main screen from her laboratory. Behind her, holographic displays showed incredible technologies that humanity had developed in secret. We offer gifts to all species, she announced. Faster-than-light communication that works across any distance. Medical technology that can extend life for centuries. Energy systems that will end scarcity forever. The alien delegates stared at the wonders being displayed. Technologies they had dreamed of for thousands of years were being offered freely by the species they had rejected. These innovations could have been shared peacefully 30 years ago, Ryan said. Instead, you forced us to develop them in secret, but we choose to share them now, not as weapons of conquest, but as gifts to our subjects. Chancellor Zekthul found his voice. Subjects, you have two choices, Ryan explained calmly. Accept human leadership and prosper under our guidance, or attempt resistance and discover why the galaxy was right to fear us in the first place. The Zentaran delegates stood up angrily. We will never bow to the species we rightfully contained. Agent. Danny Walsh, who had been sitting nearby in disguise, stood and removed his mask. Senator, I've been your military advisor for 12 years. Your entire defense force follows my recommendations. The Zentaran's anger turned to despair as he realized the truth. His own military was commanded by humans. This isn't conquest, Ryan said to the assembly. This is recognition of reality. Humanity has been your leader for decades. We're simply making it official. One by one, the alien delegates began to understand. The species that had ruled the galaxy for millennia had been quietly replaced by the humans they had rejected. Every important decision had been made by human minds. What happens now? Asked a delegate from the outer rim. Now we build the greatest civilization the galaxy has ever known, Ryan replied. Under human guidance, every species will reach its full potential. Wars will end. Hunger will disappear. The stars themselves will be within reach. Captain Jake Morrison, now an old man like Ryan, walked onto the stage. He was the same captain who had first been rejected by the aliens 30 years earlier. I return to you not as a supplicant begging for acceptance, Jake said, but as the representative of your new government. The circle is complete. The energy barriers around Earth's solar system dissolved as Jake spoke. For the first time in 30 years, humanity's home was free. But now they didn't need freedom. They had something better. They had dominance. In the weeks that followed, the galaxy adapted to its new reality. Some species embraced human leadership immediately, recognizing the benefits they had already received. Others required more convincing, but they came around when they saw the alternatives. Children of various alien species began attending human-run schools, learning not just human languages and technologies, but human values. They learned about growth through challenge, strength through diversity, and the importance of giving everyone a second chance. The former alien leaders were treated with respect and dignity. Chancellor Zekthul was offered a position as cultural advisor. Hive Queen Nixara became head of the new Interspecies Communication Council. Even those who had rejected humanity were given roles in the new government. We could have taken revenge, Ryan said during his final speech as the architect. We could have made you suffer for what you did to us. Instead, we choose to show you what humanity really means. Director Kate Rogers stood in the command center of what was now called Human Central Command. The secret bases were secret no more. Shadow Prime had become the visible center of galactic government. Final status report, she said to her team. All major governments have formally recognized the human galactic empire, reported Agent Kevin Ross, no longer needing his disguise. Resistance movements have either joined us or disbanded peacefully, added General Beth Johnson, now wearing her real rank insignia. And the former council leaders? Kate asked. They're working with us to ensure a smooth transition, replied Dr. Nancy Kim. Most seem relieved that the responsibility is no longer theirs. Kate looked out at the stars through the command center's windows. Somewhere out there, human ships moved openly between the worlds, carrying the flag of the new empire. Human colonies that had hidden in the shadows now stood proudly in the light. The galaxy that had once rejected humanity now thrived under human guidance. Trade flowed more freely than ever before. Scientific discoveries accelerated at an incredible pace. Wars became a thing of the past as human diplomats resolved conflicts before they could begin. Admiral Ryan Foster sat in his retirement home on Earth, looking up at the stars he had helped humanity claim. The boy who had dreamed of exploring space had lived to see his species become masters of the galaxy. A message came through on his communication device. It was from a young alien student on a distant world, thanking him for the human teachers who had helped her species develop new agricultural techniques. Ryan smiled. The galaxy had called humanity too dangerous for their civilization,